Give ear to my prayer, O God, and hide not thyself from my supplication. Attend unto me, and hear me, I mourn in my complaint, and make a noise. Because of the voice of the enemy, because of the oppression of the wicked, for they cast iniquity upon me, and in wrath they hate me. My heart is sore pained within me, and the terrors of death are fallen upon me. Fearfulness and trembling are come upon me, and horror hath overwhelmed me. And I said, Oh that I had wings like a dove! For then would I fly away, and be at rest. Lo, then would I wander far off, and remain in the wilderness. Selah. I would hasten my escape from the windy storm and tempest. Destroy, O Lord, and divide their tongues, for I have seen violence and strife in the city. Day and night they go about it upon the walls thereof, mischief also and sorrow are in the midst of it. Wickedness is in the midst thereof, deceit and guile depart not from her streets. For it was not an enemy that reproached me, then I could have borne it, neither was it he that hated me that did magnify himself against me, then I would have hid myself from him. But it was thou, a man mine equal, my guide, and mine acquaintance. We took sweet counsel together, and walked unto the house of God in company. Let death seize upon them, and let them go down quick into hell, for wickedness is in their dwellings, and among them. As for me, I will call upon God, and the Lord shall save me. Evening, and morning, and at noon, will I pray, and cry aloud, and he shall hear my voice. He hath delivered my soul in peace from the battle that was against me, for there were many with me. God shall hear, and afflict them, even he that abideth of old. Selah. Because they have no changes, therefore they fear not God. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him, he hath broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart, his words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Cast thy burden upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee, he shall never suffer the righteous to be moved. But thou, O God, shalt bring them down into the pit of destruction, bloody and deceitful men shall not live out half their days, but I will trust in thee. Amen. And now, let's take a closer look, what this psalm is really about. Have you ever felt abandoned by those you trusted the most? Psalm 55 is a raw and honest cry from the soul, a plea for God's help in times of betrayal, heartbreak, and overwhelming sorrow. You were guided here because your spirit needs this powerful reminder: God sees your pain and will never forsake you. Listen to my prayer, O God, do not ignore my plea, hear me and answer me. There are moments when the weight of life feels unbearable, when trust is shattered, and hope seems distant. Like David in Psalm 55, you may feel overwhelmed, searching for refuge in a storm of emotions. But even in the midst of betrayal and deep sadness, God is listening. My heart is in anguish within me, the terrors of death have fallen on me. The pain of betrayal cuts deeper than any wound. It comes from those we least expect, those closest to our hearts. But God knows your suffering. He sees every tear you cry, every prayer whispered in despair. He is your comfort when the world turns against you. If an enemy were insulting me, I could endure it, but it is you, my companion, my close friend. Betrayal from a loved one can break the spirit. You may feel lost, abandoned, and isolated, but you are not alone. Even in the depths of this emotional storm, God's presence surrounds you. He knows the loneliness of a broken heart, and his comfort is limitless. As for me, I call to God, and the Lord saves me. Evening, morning, and noon I cry out in distress, and he hears my voice. When life feels unbearable, cry out to God. He is never too distant to hear your prayers. His arms are always open, ready to lift you from the depths of sorrow. Even in the darkest moments, his light is guiding you toward healing and peace. Cast your cares on the Lord, and he will sustain you, he will never let the righteous be shaken. Let go of the burdens you've been carrying. Surrender your pain, your heartache, and your fear to God. His strength is greater than any sorrow, and his peace surpasses all understanding. He will sustain you through every trial. But as for me, I trust in you. Trust is hard when you've been hurt, but trust in God is never misplaced. Even when life feels uncertain, even when people fail you, God's love remains unshaken. He will never betray your trust, and His promises will never be broken. God is your refuge, your protector, and your healer. He sees what others cannot. He knows the battles you face and the heartbreak you carry. No matter how deep the betrayal or how heavy the sorrow, His love will restore your soul. The Lord will rescue me unharmed from the battle waged against me, even though many oppose me. Your enemies may surround you, and challenges may feel endless, but God's power is greater than any force against you. He is fighting your battles, even when you feel too weak to stand. His victory is certain, and His deliverance is sure. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. God's love will never fail you. Trust Him, even when others fail. Cry out to Him, for He is near. His healing has already begun, and His peace is flowing into your life. Your story is far from over. God's redemption is unfolding, even now.